Hey, it's Ghost with Combat Sports Supply. Today we're going to be going over the Gambler High Stakes Limited Edition 45 Peacemaker. So this is the short-barreled variant of the 1872 Colt single-action revolver made by Umarex. So what comes in the box? So what do we end up with? Well, you got a very nice user manual. You don't even have to go online for this one. Spare front sights, these are friction fit. I recommend super gluing them in. I lost one of mine. A pack of 6 rounds and 6 in the revolver itself. So you've got 12 total. The revolver and a limited edition patch to go with the revolver. So what are the features of this pistol? Well, it's originally based on this one, the original Gambler that came out a few years ago. Starting with the grip. They kept the embossed logo on the grip. They also have the text on the back as well. It says the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So, side-by-side comparison of the original versus the high-stakes Gambler. You have your trigger, which is now gold instead of silver. Your hammer, which is now gold instead of silver. And they actually made the cylinder gold instead of the original black cylinder. So just like the original and the Smoke Wagon and most of Umarex's revolvers, your safety is underneath here. This does have a functional shell eject rod on it. Now for any of you wondering, no, this does not have a hop-up in it. There is a bucking, but it's set to a default position and you cannot adjust it. At the beginning I mentioned that front sight likes to wander off, that's why they give you extras. This is what I mean by it's friction fit. I'm going to use mine so I don't break a new one, but that just pulls right out. Now let's get into the airsoft use and specs. Starting off, it is a CO2 revolver. To get into it, like most revolvers, there's your cap for it. Grip peels off. It does have the tool mounted to the side. This tool does adjust it. Don't over tighten it. There's two things that can go wrong with these. You can either break this arm off, or you'll crush your piercer and you'll have to get it replaced, which is a pain in the butt. Now I know common rule of thumb is CO2 leaks over time, blah blah blah. I own this one. There's been a CO2 in this for more than 3 months now and it's still just fine. So as long as you take care of them, they hold CO2 great. These, as a single action revolver, it has a half cocked position where it goes back a single click, and that's where your ejector arm works, where you can use your ejection port and the cylinder free rotates. That is very necessary for loading or unloading this particular airsoft pistol. As an aside, in this position, if you load a single baby, you can do Russian roulette if you really want. Now in order to fire this, every time you fire it, the hammer has to go all the way back, and you can see that trigger reset there. The reason for all that is because it is a single action revolver, so if I pull the trigger, it's not going to reset. I have to rack it again. Now, it does have the extended hammer on it, so you can, if you're so inclined, fan them. Now if you notice when I was doing that, I was a little gentle about it. It's because, yes, you can do it, but it's got to be down into the back at basically an exact 45-degree angle where you skip off of it, and you don't want to do it too hard because you will eventually break something in this doing it. So the other neat thing about this, and I'm going to use mine because it still has CO2 in it, is, okay, I fired, I've racked it. I don't want to fire again, but I need to put it away. These are one of the few ones where you can let that hammer forward and it's not going to go off. The box and the specs say this shoots at about 380 FPS. My experience with these and most revolvers is that the first couple of CO2 cartridges, it's going to shoot way over that until it settles in. To put that in perspective, this particular pistol, when I put a fresh CO2 in it when I first got it, was shooting 2.8-ish joules, 2.9 joules with 4s, which is 400 plus FPS. So as far as your shot efficiency with these, I'm going to assume they're going to be pretty similar because it's basically the same pistol, but I get about 100 shots, 80 to 100 shots out of mine, and this is the exact same pistol, so I'm going to assume it's going to perform the same. So as far as accurate range with these, I mean, I do own one. I've used it quite a bit. I can reliably hit people at 80 to 90 feet with this every trigger pull. So my final thoughts on this pistol. Well, I mean, I own one of the originals, so I'm considering getting one of the new ones. They're awesome pistols. The original one was based off of Barney's from the Expendables. The new one's just a fancy version of it. They did a really good job with how clean it is. I love the black and gold. It's not an overstated gold, it's just enough to make it look flashy, but not make it too gaudy.
Don't be a fool!